Today's game is Shootout from Spectrum Supergames by Richard G Hurley. Shootout is a game for 2 players which requires skill, cunning and ultra-fast reflexes in order to become the greatest gunfighter in the Wild West. The object of the game is to win 6 duels to the death against your opponent while avoiding the random shots being taken at you by some Indians escaping in their stolen wagon. This may all sound very easy, but just remember that the life expectancy of a gunfighter is very, very short. Techniques. When writing games programs, it is often necessary to produce a complex picture on the screen. However, sometimes the screen has to be regenerated, and this can take a long time. A method of surmounting the problem is to create the picture once at the outset of the program, and then transfer it using machine code to a position in high memory. It is then stored above RAM top and reproduced on the screen very quickly. A nice rendition of Streets of Laredo, I believe. Interesting, the game in the title screen is Showdown, but the book calls it Shootout. So, we're both shooting at a cactus, and the game does not tell you the keys, no matter which key I press, and I press every single key on the keyboard. We don't move. But you can see we've got a cowboy on the left shooting towards the right, a cowboy on the right shooting towards the left. We've got 2 wagons going up and down, shooting outwards. At the bottom of the screen you have a bonus which changes every second to a random number, and on the right hand side we have a countdown which counts down towards sunset. So we do have 2 cowboys shooting at each other and 2 lots of Indians in their stolen wagons shooting back. When typing in the game, I noticed that although he talks a lot about how this useful machine code is, it's never actually used at all, or even referenced. He gives you code, but it's never ever used in the program, which is rather odd. And the keys don't work. I've pressed every single key on the keyboard, including holding down shift in case it's caps lock related, and neither cowboy ever moves. They stand there behind their cacti shooting away. The Indians carry on blasting as if, bullets are plentiful, and the clock runs down. It looks nice, it runs quickly. Both players are acting simultaneously, plus you got the 2 non-player characters. The graphics are attractive, the music at the start is rather nice, but we can't make it do anything, which is a bit of a problem. But hopefully, when the timer runs out, we'll see this exciting picture that I'm looking forward to seeing. Generated with machine code, is it? Really? Let's find out. Sunset. At sunset, both players lose a life, and you start again. Let's make it better. So the issue with the keys is that it will work fine on an early Spectrum issue 2 board, but not later. So if I tried it on my original Spectrum Plus 2, it wouldn't work. When you do a read from the keyboard, you get a sequence of 5 bits in a byte, and that has returned a number. You can see here the numbers are here. The bits are called D0 up to D7. D6 is set by the data coder and, according to the Spectrum manual, is effectively random, and it very much depends on what version of the Spectrum you have. If you have an earlier one, the I'm not pressing any keys is every bit is set on 255. If you have a later one, that bit could be set off. It's 191. Changing the border or beeping can also turn it off, making it 191, which can cause some confusion. So why do you do this madness rather than doing in keys? Because what we have here is the ability to press multiple keys at once. We can press up to, I think, 4 keys we can do, or certainly 3. You can see here, as I move keys around the keyboard, the numbers change. So each group of 5 keys is marked together, and it goes from the outward key in, so 1 to 5, and then 0 to 6, so it's kind of backwards. And this is why the Sinclair joystick is 1 to 5 and 6 to 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, because those keys are all in a row together. So in order for me to fix this for my emulator, I'll need to change the number 255 to a number 191, and that will just work, 191 being you're not pressing any keys. As you press more and more keys, in keys gets confused, but it detects it. It's also aware if you're using symbol shift as well. So that's an easy fix. We're now going to look at the machine code, which is very kindly provided by the book. We have a little routine to store it. So clear 54,000 sets RAM top to there. So that's the last address the Spectrum will alter. So anything above that you can put things in and they'll be safe. Safe from you typing programs in. Also safe after you type new, it won't clear it. We're a little for loop, doing some poking from the data statements. So there are 2 routines here on the 2 lines. Lines aren't too long, which is nice. Both ending with 201, which is return. 54,001 is the save routine. And what that does is described here. Decimal 1 is load the BC register with the 2 following bytes. So we're loading BC with a number. We're then going to load DE with another number, then HL with a third set of numbers. And the second routine is 54013. The last bit is an LDIR command. 237176 is LDIR, which is copy everything from one pair of registers to another pair of registers for a length of the third pair of registers. So that's why we need 12 bytes. We need to save this code to tape though. Starting address 54,001 for length of 24. That is all done successfully, as written in the book. So that will be fine. We're now going to improve things in the traditional manner by selecting a more suitable font. I'm using again Char Bank from Roberto Colombo. Char Bank from 1986 gives you a selection of 32 character sets to play with. You can also edit them or make your own. Looking around, I think option 29 is the most appropriate. It looks pretty good. Lowercase is rather dull, but uppercase looks a bit westerny, so that'll do fine. So we now save this to tape. And that'll save just the 768 bytes. And that is now done. We can't use it yet though, because we need to tell the Spectrum where to find it. We're getting good at this now. So we knock together a little program. Here we're going to clear the memory at 61999, which means we can use 62,000 and up because we're using lower addresses in the machine code. We need to tell the Spectrum where the code is by poking address 23606 and 23607 with 2 values. Unfortunately, you can't just say it's this one and that one. It's a low value byte and a high value byte, and it gets a little bit tricky. So what I like to do is split it into 2 bytes, then you know you've got it correct. Also, you need to do maths on it as well. So the high order byte is how many 256 bytes are there, which is 62,000 divided by 256 as an integer, and you then subtract 1 from it, because you start 256 above for some reason. And low is 62,000 minus whatever the high value is, with 1 added back to it, times 256. Which is a bit weird, but after all, you get used to this madness. And then you poke the two values. 23606 is poked with the low value, and 23607 with the high value. You do it in here, and we now load the rest of the program. That way, all the strange loading is kept out of the main program, and if you need to run it again, you just run it again. So I've now added a sunset picture, which we're drawing on the screen using BASIC. It's a bit slow, but it just about works. And after we've loaded it successfully, what we're going to do is use the machine code routine to store it in memory. So at the next sunset, which will be any second now, we'll load it from memory. Oh, and that all goes a bit wrong. There are problems with the load machine code routine in that one of the bytes is incorrect. The 16384 is the screen, 696812 is the length, which is correct. However, the return address is slightly wrong. It says 204 in the marked in red. It should in fact be 214, which is what we had to begin with. So we need to correct that. Correcting it is as simple as going to the data line and just changing it. We can also just poke it in memory, but may as well do it properly. So we're going to change 204 to 214. So this is the final version. So we're loading it from tape, and you'll see I've got various little parts. We've got the font loader, which handles the rest of the loading. Otherwise, the loading will be complicated. It doesn't take long to load that little program. Then we have the font itself. We're using character set 29. Pleasingly Western in uppercase. Then we're loading the machine code, which is only 24 bytes long. That's very, very fast. Then we're also now going to load the sunset picture itself. I previously generated it and saved it, and therefore we may as well load from tape. Saves time. And finally, we get to load Showdown itself, or was it Shootout? Shootout version 9. I've made numerous improvements. About 2 minutes 20 to load. I've added an instruction screen telling you what on earth is going on. So it's high noon in Dodge City, sheriff against the bandit, with the red Indians in red riding up and down in stolen wagons shooting up the place. And also telling you the keys. The sheriff is on the left with the keys in normal video, and the bandit on the right with the keys in inverse video. I've also added a reload function. The sheriff can reload at the top of the screen and the bandit can reload at the bottom. The reload is using the numeric keys. So bandit moves up with YUIOP, sheriff with QWERT, and so on. And here we go. So the timer is now only on the right. And on the left you got the bullets, the sheriff at the top with number 1. And we've already got the first kill. So on death or on sunset, both players automatically reload. On being killed, though, you get a little tombstone, which you get to hide behind. You can't shoot over it, though, but it does block both the Indians and the other player from shooting you. Once you run out of bullets, you have to reload. So there's the bandit shooting away. The sheriff's hiding. Bandit is now out of bullets, so he has to run to the bottom of the screen in order to reload. Sheriff's going after him. Bandit's reloaded. And the sheriff's got him. The timer stays the same because we haven't reached the end of the day. So the bandit now has a place to hide when he's reloading. Both blasting away with their 6 shooters. And the Native Americans, Red Indians, with their wagons will randomly fire whenever they feel like it. So the clock counts down. Once it hits sunset, oh, another shot by the Red Indians who have killed the bandit. And here we go. Bonus varies based on time, not just a random number entirely. Both blasting away. And the sheriff has drawn quicker and sent the bandit off to Boot Hill. The next game over screen, I've also introduced a specific game over screen for each player. So as the sheriff won, we get a nice sheriff's badge drawn. Now it's sunset, and the picture loads instantly from memory rather than drawing it very, very slowly, thanks to the machine code included in the book. So player 2, the bandit, has won, and they've got their own little screen with the bandit with their little cowboy hat and their villainous moustache. So that was Shootout, or Showdown from Spectrum Supergames. Did I make it better? I think I did, but do let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.